Another Manipur horror. A Ramakrishna employee's mother and two sisters were murdered by a rampaging mob. The mother was 84 years old and unable to either see or hear. It is a stormy evening in Manipur. The skies have opened up in rage and in grief. The weather is an apt metaphor for the sentiment on the ground, volatile and sorrowful. We are headed from Kangpokpi, a kuki-dominated area, to a place called Saikul, where a number of victims of mob violence took refuge while fleeing from Imphal. But for security reasons, we are advised against travelling on any of the main roads. All day long, tensions have been mounting. There have been fresh clashes, burnt tires, blockades, and also tear gassing. So we must get to Saikul by an interior rough road, a back-breaking drive up and down a mountain track, through the darkness and in the pouring rain. It is an hour before we enter the desolate town of Saikul. Even in the night, we can see the remains of torched homes and broken walls. The Saikul police station looks abandoned. It is here that the first complaint of the Manipur viral video that jolted India was brought. The police, as we know, did nothing. But there were also scores of other families that came to this police station in search of justice, only to hit a cruel dead end. We are driving to the outskirts of the city to meet one such family. A kuki family that once lived a happy, integrated life in Imphal with the Meitei community, till the violence in May changed everything. Behind the numbers and statistics of what has been unfolding in Manipur are devastated individual families, and sometimes entire families have been wiped out. Today, we are here in Saikul to tell you the story, the tragic story of one such family. A family of which this photograph is what is left to commemorate them and remember them with. The story of a mother in her 80s and her two daughters who lived in Imphal but were killed as the strife erupted. The family then had to move here to Saikul, and we're here in the house of one of the other children, the son of the mother who was killed. So basically, this was his mother, and these are his two sisters, and his brother are here with us. And thank you for talking to us at such a difficult moment. What is your name, sir?
Hemang Chongloi.
And you also used to live in Imphal?
Yes.
And sir, what is your name?
Tangkolal Chongloi.
And you also used to live in Imphal? So all of you lived in Imphal, right? So tell me, what happened? How old was your mother?
My mother was blind and...
Your mother was blind?
Yes. And deep was.
So this is a terrible thing that he's just told us, that his mother, who was killed by a violent mob, was not able to see. She could not see.
Yes.
And she could not hear.
Yes.
This is a elderly lady. You can hold her photograph and show us. This is an elderly lady, Hemang Chongloi. She was 84.
Yes.
And her son, Hemang, is telling us that she was unable to see and she was unable to hear. And your sisters would look after her?
Yes.
And what happened then?
On 4th May, I think it's around 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
One phone call is coming, and my brother picked up, and he identified himself as a local MLA, or local MLA. After that, some Mera is also coming to see. our family.
Yeah.
And we told about the MLA. And later we called him back, but no answer. During the 5 to 10 minutes, the mobs were coming and kicking our gate, our door.
The mobs came and kicked the gate of your house. Yeah.
Then we fled.
And you fled. What happened to them? They couldn't get away?
We don't think that female
They are.
Oh, they were worried that if the women went, the women would be attacked.
Yeah.
That's what I've understood,
No.
yes?
They were hoping that the women will be safe.
I see. So basically, let me explain this. What's happening? This is 4th of May?
Yes.
4th of May. On the
Between 11 to 12.
between
11 to 12 a.m.
between 11 to 12 a.m. on the 4th of May. So between 11th and 12th a.m. on the 4th of May, his elderly mother, who was, again, I want to reiterate, not able to see, not able to hear, who was with his 2 sisters in Imphal. They all used to live in Imphal. And in fact, his other sister is here, and it's in her house in Saikul that the entire family has now moved out of Imphal because they no longer feel safe there. But what is being recounted here is really horrible. There were a group of Mira Paibis, the women's groups who came to see how they were doing. The MLA also called, but then suddenly it was a free-for-all. The mob came, they broke down the gate. The brothers ran, and they thought maybe it is the men who will be attacked and the women will be spared, right? That's what you thought, that the women will be spared. But that did not happen. When did you discover that your sisters and your mother were killed? How many days later?
On the day.
You discovered that day?
What
What are you saying, sir? What is he saying, sir?
What he said was they were hiding somewhere.
They were hiding, yes.
Close to the house.
Yes.
They could hear the sounds and scream of those mobs.
You could hear the mobs attacking your mother and sisters. And
Some of the mob shouting that 3 women are killed.
tell me one thing. Did you go to the police? No? Why?
There's no place to run to police.
There's no place to run? But did you no police to go to?
There's no police here.
There's no police here.
They couldn't trust the police as well.
So this is a big statement. Till now you have not filed an FIR?
Yeah, fine.
Now you have filed?
Yes.
When did you file?
0 FIR in Saikul police station.
When was that?
17 May.
You did file an FIR. So one thing I want to tell you about Saikul, where we are. This is a police station where several significant FIRs have been filed. This family has filed an FIR, a 0 FIR. A 0 FIR basically means that you can file the police complaint wherever you are and not where the crime happened. So the 0 FIR was filed here. Even in the case of the 2 women who were murdered and tortured, who worked at a car wash in Imphal East, that FIR was also filed here. But the police has done nothing. Has the police even come to take your statement? Has the police done any investigation? No, but nothing. So after you filed the FIR in Saikul, nothing happened. Any arrests? Anyone arrested?
No.
Anyone? Any help from police?
No.
No? Do you feel? Of course, the sister is getting one of the sisters who was fortunate enough to not live in Imphal and therefore is alive today. It's a very difficult time. Do you trust the police? No? And this is what we hear very often from everybody we're meeting in Manipur, and even the Chief Justice of India has remarked that there seems to be no law and order in Manipur and really slammed the police. And the fact is that family after family after family is telling us that we believed in the justice system, we filed that FIR and nothing happened. Sir, if I may ask, what did you do? You were a class attendant, you were telling me, in?
Ramakrishna Mission School.
So, sir was a class attendant in a Ramakrishna Mission School in Imphal.
Yes.
So, do you ever think you can go back to Imphal?
No.
Never?
Never.
You won't feel safe?
This,
Would you ever go back to Imphal? कभी जाएगा इम्फाल वापस? कभी नहीं. कभी नहीं. And this is what's happening, that whether or not there is officially a separate administration, there is a de facto division in the state today. This is a family that used to live integrated in Imphal, work there, lived there, their entire family, and they have now had to move here. If I may ask you, do you ever think there will be justice? Do you think the men who did this to your mother and sister will ever be caught?
I don't believe.
You don't believe? You've lost faith in the system? Totally? Sir, if I asked them, do you believe in the system? And they said they have lost faith in the system totally. Do you believe who the men who did this to your mother will ever be caught, sir? What is your name? I forgot to ask you.
Hemang Chongloi.
Do you feel like the men who did this to your mother and sisters will ever be punished? No? No? Any last words? A lot of people in India are paying attention to what's happening in Manipur. What would you want the people to understand? What do you want to say as a last message in memory of your mother, sir? Do you wish you hadn't run? You wish you'd been there?
Can I explain it to them?
Yeah.
Any
last message? Memory of your mother? कुछ अपना मम्मी के बारे में आप बोलना चाहेंगे एंड में?
Inulen sung ni chu atam Manipur sa ke lung se don na yong la sei be dim to la ta chu ilai chon na he de sei be dim to.
What it said was of course I love my mother and my two sisters much more than Manipur, but what can I do? I'm helpless now.
This is the helplessness of two brothers here, two brothers who mistakenly believed that the mob was coming for men and would spare women, would at least spare a 84-year-old woman who could not see properly, who could not hear properly, but they did not spare the women. And these brothers say they will never go back to Imphal, and nor do they think that there is ever any hope for justice being served. This is what remains, a printout, a piece of paper, lives demolished, and in some ways, those who are left to hold the pieces together with no belief in the system, no sense of security, and just broken hearts, they don't even know what to look ahead to the next day and the next day.